the most important thing that I've learned is that the heart of my life is marriage and family. And that I've learned from experience over the decades. Bonnie and I have been married for 58 years, and we have 5 children and 10 grandchildren. And um, increasingly, I'm aware that the heart of my life is that marriage and family that we have shared for these years. And the heart of a person's life is something that we need to find rather than drifting from one thing to another. So that's it. And the other thing is friendship. Um, we lived in a town north of San Francisco named Healdsburg for about 35 years, and we made a lot of friends in those 35 years. And I'm thinking particularly of a group of men that meet monthly to uh, read a paper written by one of the members of the group and share a meal. And that group in particular have been and are a community of friends that um, gives life to me. And I think of the friendships that continue through prayer and correspondence from that group and from that time. We're making new friends here in Los Angeles, in our neighborhood in Eagle Rock, and in the church we attend, St. Mark's Glendale, and that circle of friends is a blessing here in this community now. And finally, the heart of everything is the worship of Almighty God in word and sacrament and prayer and praise. That's what holds everything together, holds my family and my marriage together, holds a circle of friends nearby and far away together. And it's what holds the city and the nation and the world together is the worship and praise of the creator of the universe. May he be blessed forever. And the joy that comes from that, the joy of worship um, that holds my life in the context of friendships and marriage and family together. And that's what I've learned and am learning about what makes life worthwhile.
As well, you still are a priest. I was going to say, as someone who was a priest, but you are a priest.
Yeah,
Um,
forever.
yeah. So as a man who's been a priest for decades, as you look back, what are the main things that stood in the way of people experiencing what you've been talking about? Recognizing the importance of relationships. Or, I mean, perhaps even as you just reflect on your own experience, things that, you know, just that you've learned in your life that got in the way of people um, having good relationships with others.
I think what gets in the way of good relationships is a preoccupation with self or some achievement that you uh, have made or think you have made or want to make. And that obsession gets in the way of caring about other people. And and I've gone through periods of time where I've struggled with that, where ego um, gets in the way of family and friendships. And I'm sorry for those times. Those have been the times of failure in my life. And my son Arthur, who has died a couple of years ago, but once when he was angry at me and I was angry at him, said, you know, you don't really love us. You love an idea about us. You want us to be the perfect family that will make you look good. And I realized when he said those things that there had been times when that was absolutely true, that I um, cared about what people thought of me and what I wanted them to think of me. And what I wanted them to think of me was that I was this great father and husband, which was not true some of the time.
Yeah. And was that a moment, um, however hard it was to absorb that and however long it took to really respond to that, was that for you kind of and as you look back, was that kind of an important turning point?
It was. Um, but even in my anger with my son, I realized that he was telling me the truth, a truth about myself that I needed to hear. And I think I did hear it and made some changes in my thoughts and feelings. A thought does come to mind about my own father of blessed memory and what he wanted for us. And I never questioned this and don't question it now, but he wanted us to be good.
Hmm.
And, and being good was not just staying out of trouble. Being good was a whole uh, way of living your life that was characterized by um, honor and dependability and um, being faithful to your relationships. And I have often shared this story about my older brother, Bill, who has passed away. But after my dad had died, the first time he came back to Napa, where we grew up, and was driving into town, and he told me this story about himself that he was driving by the cemetery where my father is buried, and he said that as he drove by, he said out loud, much to his own surprise, he said out loud, "Dad, it's Bill. I'm being a good boy." And that's what we were supposed to be. We were supposed to be good boys.
Wow, that's beautiful.